Slightly Unblended. Welcome to my video, or if you've been here before, welcome back. I wanted to try something. I'm comparing the Cottage Core palette from Hot Topic to the At Foresight palette, and I have some thoughts. So if you're interested in seeing how well the Cottage Core palette performs, swatches of each palette side by side, all that good stuff, then just keep on watching. Doing things a little different today because I caught wind that Hot Topic may or may not have drew a lot of inspiration from Colourpop and RawbeautyKristi for a palette. So, figured it would be fun to test it out. I've tried Hot Topic's makeup once or twice. I wasn't impressed with it, but I also wasn't, I did things a lot differently, so I'm gonna give it another go today. But I'm gonna take the RawbeautyKristi and Colourpop palette and see. I know how that performs and I love it, but I'm gonna see if this mushroom palette from Hot Topic can match up to the Kristi and Colourpop palette. So right off the bat I noticed, I was like, okay, there's some shades that aren't in it, but let's see, there's 12 in the Kristi palette and there's 9 in the Hot Topic palette. So it looks like in the Hot Topic palette they left out Rainier, Chanterelle, and I see this one over here by the shimmers looks like it could be Amanita or Homegrown. So I was like, okay, but the shimmers are pretty much the same. I'm gonna include swatches at the end after we test this bad boy out. So I'm gonna do things a little bit differently. I don't normally do both eyes at the same time, but I feel like since I'm kind of comparing the palettes, it would be best to do that. And to save a little bit of time, I'm taking some of a pair of the Crown Noir Queen of the Cut Crease, half cut crease stencils to make sure that I get everything even. So I'm gonna pop those on real quick. Let's see if I can get them even. I reuse these until like they don't stick anymore, but I figured I'd just go in with clean ones today. Alright, I feel like they're even. So I'm gonna do my left eye with the At Foresight palette and then the right eye with the mushroom palette. I'm gonna kind of pair them together so that I can see what colors. I have not even swatched the mushroom palette. Let's see. I might have to do a quick swatch to see if this is, I think this is more of like homegrown shade, so I'll probably go in with homegrown. I don't know what to expect from this palette. Yeah, that looks like it's more of homegrown shade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take my ABH A14 brush, make sure I have it cleaned off because I was in a hurry the other day and it was pretty dirty. So cleaning it off. This is homegrown and I'm just gonna pop it into the crease. And I'm just gonna take it on that outer V area. I don't really know if we want to do like a tutorial with this or just like test out the shade, so I'll kind of talk about what I'm doing. Probably not as much as I normally would because I really just want to see like how these look together. Like I don't know how I feel about the fact that Hot Topic come out with this palette. Like kind of sus. Alright, I've got that brush cleaned off, so I'm going to take this shade that looks like it would be close to homegrown and go ahead and apply it onto my right eye. Oh my gosh. Like, this is super close. Are you kidding me? Okay, I can kind of see a little bit of a difference. So let me get this built up and then we'll talk about it. So before I dip into another palette with the same brush, I'm making sure that I have the color cleaned off of the brush. That way we're not getting any mix because I feel like that would be pointless. Okay, I am really going to clean this off a bit to add a little bit more of homegrown towards the outer corner of my eye because I have it a little farther on my right eye. Okay, so far I'm noticing, this is where I want to talk for just a second. I'm going to clean this brush off. So far I'm noticing that homegrown is more of a like reddish brown, right? Like you can see it's like, it's a little deeper. The one that looks like Homegrown in the mushroom palette is more, almost like a warmer brown, like a gingerbread color. But they look almost identical in the palette. So for the next step, I'm gonna take a little bit of, let's take a little bit of, on the infamous Morphe brush that's a pencil brush that I don't know if it has a name or not, that I've had forever. I'm gonna take Rainier and blend out Homegrown, and then I'm gonna take the shade that looks like that from the mushroom palette and do the same thing, just to see how these colors will line up. I'm taking a clean brush, this is a DeWalt Beauty Laundry brush, and I'm just going to gently blend that out and touch up Homegrown a little bit. Alright, so now I'm just going to take that same Morphe brush and get it cleaned off and take that shade that looks like it would be Rainier and do the same thing on this eye. These ones are super similar in color from this palette from Hot Topic. But I am going to take that DeWalt Beauty Laundry brush and touch up that shade that looks like it could be Homegrown. These ones are super similar compared to the one in the Kristi and Colourpop palette. So I don't know. I am going to clean this brush off and get a little bit more of that one that looks more like Rainier. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Just give it a nice little blend-a-roo. Alright, so I don't know where I want to start next. Had to take a little break. But I have I want to do as many colors as possible. So I may do my lower lash line on camera and compare, because I was like, well, got a little more of a neutral-y kind of moment going on right now. And there's still shades that I want to use out of this. But with Puffball, the shade on the top left here, which is going to be the top right when I show it. But right here, this one, this is the Cottage Core eyeshadow palette. Okay. But this one, it looks like, it doesn't really look like Puffball, and it doesn't really look like Chanterelle. So I'm just trying to figure out, I don't know if I want to use that, but I want to I think I'm about to use the one that is Old Growth in the palette, and then use the one that looks like it from this palette to blend this out, and then go from there. Does that sound good? Because I feel like that's probably a good idea. So let me find a good brush for this. Oh yes, my LaRue LR 005 brush. Did I say that right? I can never say it right. LaRue's. Where's the thing? Yeah, LR 005 taper blending brush. I had it. Okay, so I'm going to go into Old Growth and just give it a nice little blend-a-roo and see. I know how well this one performs, and I love this palette. This palette, this is probably one of my favorite Colourpop palettes, and I don't give it as much love as I should. But my friend, Cruelty Free Makeup Haven on here, you should go check her out. She said something about me doing another look with it for a video, a tutorial. And I loved the idea, and then I just got so busy that I didn't have a chance to. So if you'd like to see that, please let me know. And if you want to mention colors that you think I should use, or any, a cut crease, half cut crease, halo eye, anything like that, just let me know and I'm down. I love creating looks, and I love when someone asks me to do a specific one, because then I'm like, okay, I get so excited and I'm like, yes. I just love trying to teach makeup. I know I'm not a professional, but I really am interested in taking some classes for that, because makeup is just really my whole world. Besides my cats and my husband, every day it's makeup, cats, and my husband, so it's my whole world, you know. So I'm just blending these out. And if I'm being completely honest here, I've never used these shades for just this. So I'm super excited, because this is different that I've done with it, like different from the other looks that I've done with this palette. So I'm going to clean this off really, really quick. Well, make sure that I have it good and cleaned off because it would defeat the purpose of the video. Alright, good, clean. If I didn't clean it off. So I'm going to go into the one that looks like this from the Cottage Core palette. It's kind of hard. Okay, there we go. It's a little difficult to get that pigment out of there. So, just gonna... This... Okay, here we go. So I'm kind of noticing with this Hot Topic palette that you gotta put in a little extra effort to get it to be a little bit on par with the Colourpop and Kristi palette. I feel like this one that would be what Old Growth is not very pigmented at all. Like, I can kind of see it doing a little something, but I'm really having to work for it. For some reason, this really makes me want a pumpkin cream cold brew. And I'm just so excited for Starbucks to bring those back because they are my favorites. But I did find a copycat recipe on Pinterest, and we bought like a milk frother. We bought one, and I'm super excited to like try to find the ingredients to make it because I love looking at Pinterest and trying all the different recipes. My favorite. Alright. I kind of feel like the one that would be Rainier, I need to touch up on this eye. So I'm going to make sure, I'm pretty sure it's clean, but I just want to make sure that it's nice and cleaned off this DeWalt Beauty Lounge brush and go into the color that's like that from the Cottage Core. Is it Cottage? I keep trying to say college now. Cottage Core. Okay. I'm going to try to build that up because it's just... Okay, there we go. Getting there. I used to really like the lipsticks from Hot Topic. Vintage Lace was my favorite in the whole world. And it looks a lot like Tomboy from Melt. So, and it's not as drying. I do have to say that Melt's lipsticks, they're bullet ones for sure, that I've tried, the matte ones, they're not budging. Like, I wore one the other day. I had it on for like 12 hours and only had to touch it up like one time. And I was like, okay. So now for the moment of truth, kind of. I always like to say that, but I'm just going to peel these off. I'm going to get it started and probably take my tweezers to do it. Where did I set those? So satisfying. So very satisfying. Excuse me, my voice was getting all kind of gravelly there. My allergies are really acting up lately. I was outside a lot this weekend because it was nice. And it's just this time of the year my allergies get a little all over the place. So what I'm going to do here is kind of clean off where I got some of the shadow onto my lid with some micellar water on a Q-tip. And then apply some more of the clean canvas to start to play with some more colors and give it a nice little test to see which performs the best. I don't know, I just felt like this would be fun, but I am going to include swatches in the end, so this is probably going to be a pretty long video, and I do apologize for that, but I just want to like do a comparison because when I noticed that Kristi had retweeted that somebody said that Hot Topic did this, I was like, what? That is so wild. Like, I mean, the Kristi palette is amazing. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but I was like, let me try them. I have to try them side by side. All right, creases are cut and the base is down. So let's get back to some colors. I'm gonna go ahead and do, let me see. What do I wanna do here? I think what I wanna do is I had like a whole idea for Emerald City and Fiddlehead, but I also like want to do them for my lower lash line, but I kind of feel like that would be good to do on the lid. I don't know. Well, I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of Let It Rain and see how that works out. So I'm taking the Nameless Morphe brush and just kind of popping that on right here along the edge of the base. kind of pat that in there, in that outer crease area for a little smokiness. And I know this isn't quite a tutorial, but I just want to explain what I'm doing, because I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. Alright, so I'm going to make sure that I have this cleaned off, and there is a shade that looks just like this in this Cottage core. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap off the excess. That one's kind of, seems like there's a fair bit of kickback on that one. But I'm just going to do the same thing. Oh, okay. That's surprisingly more pigmented than I expected. Well, I say that. Now it's kind of not wanting to blend right here. It's getting really patchy right in here in the Cottage core. Is it Cottage core or Fairy core? Oh my gosh. Cottage core. It's getting a little bit patchy. Like, it's so patchy. I don't know. While I'm editing, I'm gonna zoom this in. But like right here, it is patchy, patchy. I'm just gonna try my best to make it work. I'm just gently patting this down. Man, I thought that I was gonna have, I almost put it on that eye. I don't want to do that. That's just out of habit, and I don't ever do two eyes at once. I haven't in a long time, so anyway, like, I don't know. Like, I had high hopes for it once I got it down on the base, but it's just so patchy right here. And that's frustrating. Okay, anyway, moving along. Just gonna wear it how it is. I have that brush cleaned off, and I ended up getting pigment on my crease cutting brush. Don't want that either. I'm gonna take my ABH A14 brush. I'm gonna make sure I have it cleaned off, and I'm gonna add a little bit of Emerald City from the At First Sight palette onto the left eye here, and just kind of blend that. I'm doing tapping motions here. And I'm going to clean this brush off, and I'm going to take a little bit more Let It Rain to get it nice and blended with that. See, on this eye, that just blends so well. Like, Colourpop's formula is so good. And then on the other eye, that knockoff Let It Rain shade is exactly, in my opinion right now, a knockoff. It was like, hey, can I copy your homework? And it was like, yeah, but just make sure, you know, it's a little bit different. It was like, different, you say? Patch. Okay, I've cleaned this brush off. I'm going to go into the shade that looks like it would be Emerald City from the Kristi and Colourpop palette and hope for the best, because right now, like, with that being like that, oh, I'm not going to be like, yeah, that's pigmented, because last time I did, it was a patchy mess, but it is so far pigmented. So I have thoughts. I'm gonna try the knockoff Let It Rain shade one more time and try to blend these two together. Try to kind of blend it with the outer bit here. Oh my gosh, I think that just made it worse. Okay, let me try a different brush. I mean, I'm not like looking to make this work, but it would be, I'm not trying to mess, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I expected, but I was like, it seemed so exciting that it worked until it didn't. And it was like, it worked and then it didn't, like that. So I'm taking my Sigma E25 brush. And I'm just, oh my gosh, it's nothing. It's literally nothing. Okay, now we got it. So I'm just kind of patting it. There we go. Now it's finally kind of doing something. See, I'm stubborn and I'm not trying to, like, I'm going to try to make something work as much as I can. But if you're like thinking that this would be something that you're interested in, I do want to let you know that this shade that would be like Let It Rain is really making me work to get it to do what I want it to do. I mean, I'm having to put in the work. And you're like, to apply this to make it not be patchy, I'm really having to pat it. Because the second you like go to like blend it, it just is a patchy mess. I'll have to try that one a different way. But I'm gonna take a little bit more of the one that looks like homegrown and just see if I can gently blend this at all without it being patchy. Okay, this is what we're working with on this eye right here now, after a lot of packing. So that shade, it's like, it seems like you're gonna have to really pack it down to get a color, like not necessarily a color payoff. Like it worked well when I applied it down, but then the second that I started trying to blend it, it was just patchy, patchy, patchy. I'm moving on now. I'm gonna take my DeWalt Beauty Lounge small shader brush. I'm gonna take Fiddlehead from the At First Sight palette and pop it on. I'm not gonna take it all the way though. Okay, I'm gonna clean that brush off and take a little bit more of Emerald City and just blend those two together. Me says this is not a tutorial. Also me tries to make it a tutorial. Cleaning this brush off really, really good. And I'm gonna go into the shade that looks like it could be like Fiddlehead from the Cottage core. Hope for the best. And I'm gonna take a little bit more of that color that looks like Emerald City and just do the same thing. All right, I'm gonna clean that little small shader brush off real quick. Where did I set it? Oh, right in front of my face. And I'm gonna take a little bit more of Fiddlehead just to make sure I have them nice and blended together. Get right up in there on that crease that's cut out. The Kristi palette, such a beautiful palette. Performs so well. I forgot how much I love it. I really like, I used it the other day and I used like Old Growth. That was the only shade that I used, and I just used it all over my lid and I did a wing and I loved it. Well, I used Emerald City too. I did that on the lower lash line. It wasn't anything I filmed. It was just a quick little, I'm going somewhere so I want to look like I actually got some sleep last night kind of situations. All right, I think what I want to do is use West Coast from the At First Sight palette right here, and then use Evergreen for the inner corner highlight, because both of those shimmer colors are in this palette. So that's what I'm gonna do. In my honest opinion, I think that Colourpop needs to do another collaboration with Kristi, because honestly, I could not get everything on launch day. Like, it sold out so quick. I was super lucky to get the palette. I was excited about that. But I would love to try the other things from the collection. But if they did something else, you need to know, I would be in line. I would have alarms set, little notes, sticky notes in every room of my house. Be like, this day, this time. Because I love Kristi and I love Colourpop. Like, honestly, that was the best moment of 2020 was this launch. Like, this whole collection. Oh, well, and the Pure one too, because I still use my Pure and RawbeautyKristi palette in the lashes. Oh my gosh, I loved that collection so much. And I'm going to blend this together a little bit more with some Fiddlehead. Just kind of give it a nice little pat. Alright, let's try this other palette. Now, I don't know how these are going to perform. I don't know if I've ever tried any shimmers from a Hot Topic palette. But I've got my Luxie Small Shader brush cleaned off. And I'm just going to take that gold shimmer. Maybe. You really got to dig your brush in it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to try a different brush. I'm going to use my BH Cosmetics number 8 brush. I usually do this for my nose highlighting and my under my brow highlight. Oh my gosh, you really have to dip it down in there. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's making my eye bags look away. Like, it's making them look really droopy. Alright, I'm just going to use my finger for this. It's going to be messy, but... Oh no, that didn't do anything either. It's making this little part of my lid right here, like... It's making it look like... Dare I say it? Old, like... Oh my gosh, like it's making... This is, okay. It's making it so droopy. Like, it's just, see, this one, my lid doesn't look wrinkly. And this one looks like a raisin. Like, why? Okay. Alright, I don't like that. I do not like that gold out of that at all. At all. I'm going to go back into that one that looks like it could be fiddlehead and attempt to get this nice and blended. Kind of like give it a little pat. Hopefully that'll knock back some of that. Oh no. Okay, I have to go back into that shade. Yikes on a bike. See, when I think that I'm like, okay, this palette's not so bad, it does something that makes me be like, just eat it. Kind of sorry if Hot Topic sees this, but like this, I don't know if it's something that I'm doing, and it totally could be something that I'm doing wrong, but like, why does my lid look like a raisin right now? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to feel. This is a BH Cosmetics. I do believe it used to be a number 8 brush or number 6 brush. I think it was number 6. If this was 8, then this one was 6. Yeah, this was, I do believe the number was 6, but I can't tell because I've used it so much that it's worn off. So I'm going to go and take a little bit of Evergreen and pop that on the inner corner. That's beautiful. I've always loved Evergreen. It's the most stunning shade, really. Okay, I'm cleaning this brush off. Let's try the shimmer that looks like Evergreen. Hopefully it's better than the gold situation that I have on my raisin lid over here. Okay, it's similar, but I noticed that it didn't necessarily have like that almost like duochrome to it. So it works for what it is, and it wasn't nearly as bad as the gold. Whew. Okay. I'm going to try real quick to get this pigment brought back into the shade that would be Let It Rain, because it looks like it's kind of faded away. So I'm just going to pat that on there. Really just feel like I'm making it worse. Okay, I'm going to call that good because that's just not... I'll try a different way with it if you're interested, but I don't feel like it's doing as well as the one in the at Foresight palette. So I'm going to go do the rest of my face and probably come back and maybe do my lower lash line on camera because I kind of did it a little backwards from what I planned. I thought about doing like the greens under my eye, but now we're just kind of left with one shade out of this Hot Topic palette. And it's the one that looks kind of like Puffball, but kind of not. So, who knows? I may try something different with that. I might just go ahead and do like the Rainier and Homegrown on the lower lash line to make it more of a neutral with that pop. But, yeah, I'll come back with my final thoughts and swatches. Alright, let's play with the lower lash line. I'm going to take my Sigma liner brush and go into Homegrown. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the lower lash line area the same as the first couple of shades that we started with. I just wonder if this is going to, with the other palette, if it's going to apply differently on my lower lash line. I used the Pure Cosmetics Down to Earth liner for my waterline. I didn't figure you wanted to see the eyeliner face. It's much like the mascara face. Now, does this look something to write home about? No. I just wanted to do something with the colors that were available, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. So I just kind of wanted to keep it kind of simple and give it a fair go. So with the same shade that looks like Homegrown in the Fairy Core palette, or the Cottage Core palette, I'm going to take that and do the same thing on this eye. Clean that brush off. Okay, Rainier is what I'm going to do for blending out Homegrown on the left side here. And the same color that looks very close to that in the Hot Topic palette, I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of give that a nice blend, or try to. I feel like this Hot Topic palette, the one that looks like it would be Homegrown and the one that looks like it would be Rainier, they look very similar once they're down, so I find that harder to work with because Homegrown is a really good color to create some depth in the not so like super colorful aspect of the palette, and it looks like it would be quite a bit darker in this Hot Topic palette, but it's so much like the shade that looks like Rainier that you kind of have to really work for the pigment. I will give it that it's not patchy like the one that looks like it would be Let It Rain. I'm still not so happy about the situation. Once I finish my face, I'm going to try to see if I can get my camera to zoom in so we can get a close-up, and I'll probably just like look straight ahead and all that, and then like move and show my left eye and then move and show the right, so you can kind of see the difference. I don't really know what my camera is going to pick up and what it's not, but I feel like that would be a good little, you know, comparison, if you will. So now I'm just going to take this DeWalt Beauty Lounge brush with some of Old Growth to finish the blending out on the left eye. Let's take the one that looks like it would be like Old Growth from this Hot Topic palette. See how that works. This is another one of those shades that you really have to work for that pigment. I feel like that did hardly anything, but I kind of felt like that when I was blending out the shade in the crease, like right up here. I really feel like it could use some more to try to soften up that one shade, but it's really just doing a whole lot of not much. Alright, so I'm gonna go put on some lashes and I'll be right back. Hi, we're so up close right now, but I wanted to show the finished look. Alright, I'm going to zoom out. So I want to discuss the palettes, which we all know the At First Sight palette. I have 2 videos with this palette on my channel. One was recreating a halo eye look that I had done and I had posted, and I had some requests for it, so I did it. And then my first impressions first look with this palette. So very well loved. Amazing palette. Like, Colourpop, please release this again. And now, let's get my thoughts on the Cottage Core palette. I didn't know what to expect going in, but I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, so this could probably be good for people that missed the palette, couldn't get the At First Sight palette, like a At First Sight vibes kind of situation. But when because I used all the colors except for this top one right here. I did not use that one because I don't feel like it very well matches At First Sight a whole lot. Like, I feel like it would be a completely different color. Like, that would be contrasting. Is that the word that I'm looking for? But I feel like it would be a lot different from the shade in the At First Sight palette, which is Puffball, because when you put them up like close to each other, there's a little bit of a difference in them, but other than that, the shades look very similar. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do some swatches And I'm going to start with Puffball. I'm going to go along the top row of each. So we're not going to do Chanterelle because there's not a color like it in this palette. So we're just going to do these three, and these three here. Alright, so first up we have Puffball, and I suck at swatching, but that's what I have on my finger. And I'm just going to make these some pretty long, kind of wrap around like a bracelet swatches so that we can really kind of see what's going on, because I really don't know how to do this by myself. And right now I'm a one lady team. My husband is not home, so I'm doing this all by myself. He usually helps me. I'm very thankful for that. But my thoughts on this palette from Hot Topic is that while some of the shades worked well, I do not like that gold shimmer. It made my eye look saggy and raisin-like. And that shade that looks like Let It Rain, when it was first applied, it looked fairly well. But then when I tried to blend it, it's a patchy mess. Like, it's really, really bad because it was so patchy when I tried to blend it. I was not having it. Like, I was like, oh, are we being for real right now? Okay, this is the one that looks like Puffball. I honestly think that, like I was saying, like, that's a little bit more of a low-key mustard, but more of a neutral shade than Puffball. Puffball is more, okay, Puffball is a little more cool tone than the one that looks like it in the palette. So I think that's the words I was looking for. So now I'm going to do Rainier. That one got a little bit of a wideness to it when I applied it. It got on the little tendons or whatever's going on in there near my veins, and it was just like and now I'm going to get the shade that looks like that out of this Hot Topic palette. And some of these you really, really have to work super hard for to get any sort of pigmentation out of them. And I used the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in Fair for this look, as I do in pretty much all of my looks. Unless I'm working with pastels, I feel like the Clean Canvas in white really makes them pop so much more, because you're not working with a more skin tone shade of a base, you're working with the white, and that really helps to make it pop super well. So I used like the things that I would normally use, and really, really struggled to get the color payoff from this Hot Topic palette. But this is Rainier and the one that looks a lot like it right beside each other. Alright, I'll be right back. I have to clean my fingers so that I can finish the swatches. Busted out my handy dandy makeup eraser for this. I'm gonna set that over here to the side for when I need it to wipe my arm. I'm gonna go and try Old Growth now. I've got it on my finger. Isn't that such a pretty shade? It's like a nude. Like one of my favorite lipstick nude color. Old Growth is just like those. And it's so pretty. So there's that one. And this is the Hot Topics version of that. That made me think of Say Anything. It's like Walmart version of you. What was that? Is that Too Cute Not Cute? Or I can't remember the name of it. Now it's stuck in my head. Oh my gosh. And I love Say Anything. No, Less Cute. That's what it is, like the Less Cute version of you, but you'll have to do. Yeah, that's the song. But it's like the Walmart version of you. It's like now I'm over here like, this is the Hot Topic version of you. Yikes on a bike. I stay finding ways to embarrass myself on the internet. Okay, so this is a more of a lighter pink than Old Growth. Old Growth is more of a like cooler, more nude pink, as to where the shade from the Hot Topic palette is a lighter, almost more baby pink. not as nude of a pink, I do not believe. Alright, this is where it's going to be interesting. I'm going to pop on Evergreen, which when you look at it, you can kind of tell that Evergreen is not being exactly duped by this palette because it doesn't have the like duochrome goody vibes going on. It's kind of just like a lime green. But Evergreen is like the most beautiful, just like, it's got a, I feel like it really does have like a slight shift to it. Let me go ahead and get a little more so that we can get that wrapped around. So that's Evergreen. And then this is the one from the Hot Topic palette. I am putting my finger in the palette a couple of times when it seems like it's not wanting to come off my finger, just to get it to where I can make the swatch be the same length. And I am applying these on my arm with no base. This is just my skin, because I'd rather not use my base for that. And I don't know if foundation would work. I mean, I'm sure it would, but these are those ones beside each other. I'm going to take West Coast now because, oh, we know how well the Hot Topic one looked on the lid. So this is West Coast. Oh, this is really a beautiful, beautiful shade. Is it showing up? I don't think I did the swatch far enough. Okay. And let's go into the gold from the Cottage Core palette. There's just something about the texture of it that just is, I don't even know what to say about it. And it's showing up. It's definitely a more lighter gold too. I feel like West Coast is like the most beautiful true kind of gold with like a little dandelion shade to it. And this is more of a just like kind of yellow gold, if that makes any sense. But the texture between the shimmers in both of these palettes are so like not even close. Alright, Homegrown. Got Homegrown right there. Sorry for my very bad swatches, like I'm not the greatest at it, and I feel like I have awkward arms trying to show it off and get it. So this is the shade closest to that from the Cottage Core palette. These ones are the most similar shades in the, like, out of all of them so far, I feel like. Like, it's a little more warm tone, but it's almost like, it's almost identical. You see what I mean? Like, it's got, Homegrown is a little more cool tone, but this one, like, they're so similar. Okay, gonna clean the fingers off. 3 more shades out of each, but really just 3 more shades. Let's go with Fiddlehead. Fiddlehead is such a pretty shade too. I love it. Kristi didn't come to play when picking these colors. Like, they're so unique to put together. That's such a pretty shade. So I'm gonna go into the one that looks quite like it from the Hot Topic palette. And it's a little bit different. It's more of a, I feel like it's not as dark. See, they're not like, they look so much alike, but like Fiddlehead is a little darker. But I mean, I just can't believe, like, I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. Okay, I'm going to take Emerald City and then the one from the Hot Topic palette. And I accidentally stuck my ring finger down in the Hot Topic one, so I've got Emerald City on my pinky. Emerald City's beautiful. Like, I forgot how much I loved that shade until I put it on my lid earlier, and I was like, why? Why have I not used this one in a hot minute? Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to take the one that looks like it from the Hot Topic palette. Oh my gosh, that one is swatching like super similar in color. Oh my gosh. They look so much alike. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I want to be like Hot Topic do better or like be impressed. Like, I don't know. Like, I think like with Kristi putting a lot of work into this collab with Colourpop, that it's kind of dirty for Hot Topic to do something like this, because she worked hard on it and then they were like, okay, we're gonna do something like that. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. But also, like, I don't know, like, if somebody didn't get the palette, I guess, you know, like, this is kind of close. Well, pretty close, but it doesn't perform as well as the Kristi one, in my opinion. Like, I just kind of feel like Hot Topic did Kristi a little dirty. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. I'm going to go into Let It Rain. See, that's already working better just with the swatch, with it being from the original palette than that one that I used from the Hot Topic palette earlier. And I am obsessed with the reflex in this one. It is a beautiful, beautiful shade. Look at that sparkle. I don't know if my camera's picking it up, but it is so sparkly. Now let's do this one from the Hot Topic palette that we all know and love. Oh, it's even kind of a dud when you try to swatch it. Like, I don't know if you can see where I've already tried to swatch it, but it's like, oh no. See, even swatching this, like, I know that swatches are so much different than actually applying it, but before I swatched this, I used it. And based off of how it's swatching and based off of the fit that I had with trying to use it on my lids, like, this is not a very good shade. Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't use like a black base or something for it to get it to halfway work like the one from the Kristi palette, but right now it's just even swatching like garbage. Sorry, Hot Topic. Let me try to get another go to get it to show up a little bit better, I guess. This is, ooh, make all the noise. These are the swatches. I am going to take a picture of them on my phone, like, right now, so that I can try to include them in the video. I still need to learn how to do that. So, I am going to go take pictures of my arm with the swatches, and I'll be right back. I've come to terms with the fact that just about any time that I film, my camera's either going to cut off or my memory card is going to be full, without me knowing that it's close to being full. So, what I was trying to say before it cut off, because I ran out of room, is that I really don't know how to end this video. I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I kind of feel like this is a ripoff, but also like a dupe, but also like, I don't know. Like, I feel indifferent. Like, part of me was like, oh man, that's crappy, because you kind of like ripped off Kristi, in my opinion. But then, like, other part of me is like, if someone, like, if this is what somebody wants, then Hot Topic has it, I guess. You know, like, I really don't know. I just thought it would be fun to compare and do swatches, play around. It's been so long since I tried a Hot Topic palette. I was like, why not? And I've really been on the hunt for palettes that are really close to palettes that I have, to like do the battle of the palette, like, is the dupe better than the original? In my opinion, this is the best palette out of the two. I am madly in love with the At First Sight palette, so I just feel like it can't be topped. But yeah, I've had this on for, let me see, like 4 hours now. And I feel like, though it's patchy over here, it's not really faded a whole lot or anything. I have a cat hair in my eyebrow. But yeah. So I don't know how I feel. What do you think? Please let me know down below. Like, will you be buying this palette? I kind of feel like I bought it so that maybe other people don't have to if they're interested in seeing how it performs. But, like, are you going to be picking up the Cottage Core palette from Hot Topic? Have you tried the At Foresight palette? Like, did you get it? Because, like, it's really good, and I was super scared that I wasn't going to get it. Like, my site, like, I had my laptop up, and the site was just, like... No, I don't really think it was, like, crashing. But it was, like, once you started to be able to get in line with the stuff, like, stuff was selling so quick. And I was like, oh. Because at first I thought I had, like, the whole thing. But then it was like, no. And I was like, okay, we gotta just get the palette. Because my husband was, like, trying to help me. And I was like, oh, am I gonna get it? I'm gonna be so sad if I don't. So luckily I looked out and I got it, and I'm really, really glad, because I love to support Kristi. RawbeautyKristi is like one of my favorite people on YouTube. Her, Bailey Sarian, Robert Welsh. I'm trying to think of the people that I watch that are in the beauty community that I really enjoy. Those three come to mind. And then my friend Cruelty Free Makeup Haven, Looks by Lottie. Who else? I'm forgetting someone, and I'm going to be mad at myself over that. I've gotten to where I don't watch a whole lot of beauty related stuff, but when my friends upload, I'm like there. Like, as soon as I can be there, I'm like, yes, we got to watch. That there's like Rachel the Great and Danielle. She does special effects makeup. I just like, I don't know. I just like to watch everybody's videos, and like, when Kristi come out with this palette and the one with Pure, I was like, I have to support Kristi. Like, I need those palettes. They're stunning. She's just, like, she's funny. She's cool. I love when she talks about her cats, because I am a cat mom and I'm obsessed with cats. So, I just, like, Kristi is just, like, such a gem. Like, I just love Kristi. Okay. Alright. I'm just rambling at this point. So, let me know what you'd like to see next down below. Please let me know. Have you tried this one? Are you going to be picking this one up? I don't know. Like, I don't know if I could. I don't want to say that I recommend this one because of the black one with the reflex being so patchy and the gold making my eye look like a chicken's little, or no, a turkey's little thing. So I don't know. If this is something you're into and you want it, like, do what you want to do. But those two shades for me are just like, eh. Okay, I'm sorry for keeping you here too long. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, can you please give it a thumbs up? It helps me out a lot, and I always appreciate it, because I think that it tells YouTube that people might be interested in me. And if you'd like to see more of me and keep up with my awkward face and shenanigans, I will have all of my social medias down below for when I'm not here on YouTube. But if you want to see me when I'm here, please hit that subscribe button. I always get so excited whenever I notice that somebody subscribed. I'm like, oh, a new friend, a new friend. So yeah, without just keeping you here too long, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye.